Hello world, it's your friend Patriotic Hemorrhoid. I did say in my other video that this would be done basically right after the first one. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping my word. Now, the whole point of this video is on Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and all these other liberal-controlled groups that are completely incorrect. Now, when I mentioned Black Lives Matter, so many people will have just gotten triggered. And I fucking hate that word, triggered. Oh, you said something and it triggered me. Fuck off. Okay? Fuck you. I have PTSD and dissociative identity disorder caused by my PTSD. Things that trigger me are things that actually send me into a violent rage where I could end up harming innocent people. That is what being triggered is. My retired military brother has PTSD. If something triggers him, it can send him into a violent rage. That's what being triggered is. Or if you're somebody who suffers from depression, something can trigger you into possibly becoming suicidal for a little while. Because, oh shit, you have that chemical imbalance in your mind, in your brain, that sets you into that. And certain things, maybe a certain memory, a certain song, something like that, can trigger you. But all of you idiots that, oh, somebody said something that I don't agree with, now I'm triggered and I have to find my safe space. Fuck you. You're not triggered. You're just a little bitch. Now, Black Lives Matter. I wholeheartedly agree with its original purpose. Its original purpose was, hey, there are racist ass people out there, and they're treating black people like they are less important than white people. That's not right. Black person's life matters just as much as a white person's, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. Completely. The color of your skin does not make you less important than someone else because of the color of their skin. Just like it does not make you more important than someone else because of the color of their skin. Racism is completely fucking retarded, and I'm sorry that I'm not sorry to offend anyone who is a racist. Because legitimately, there's one race. There's the human race. There's multiple ethnicities. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Okay? So, if I take a knife, I slice my hand, I slice a Mexican person's hand, I slice a black person's hand, I slice an Asian person's hand, we're all going to bleed red. We're all going to sit there and say, ow, that fucking hurt. Whether in English or in whatever language from the region we're from, we're going to say, ow, that fucking hurt. Shit, I'm bleeding. I need to tend this wound. And probably the other three people would be like, why the fuck did you cut me? I'm just saying. Unless it was something that was prior agreed for. But that's neither here nor there. Now, what Black Lives Matter has become is a domestic terrorist organization. Because, I'm sorry, pick a white group. Get a group of white men and women doing the same things that BLM is doing, and they'll instantly be labeled a white supremacist group, a terrorist group, everything. Plain and simple. A group, perfect example, Charlottesville, North Carolina. There was a meeting where about 150 white people showed up saying that white lives matter. They went through all of the legal channels to be able to hold a protest for Confederate statue being torn down, which is part of America's history, and those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So, just saying, trying to prevent the actions of the past happening, again, by destroying the monuments of the past, kind of makes you an idiot. Just saying. Well, these people showed up. The city police, even though they had the documents from the state saying that they could be in that park, refused to allow them in the park, claiming racist bullshit, saying that they weren't going to allow a racist group to hold a racist protest in the park, and that the state police would have to come and escort them in, or they weren't letting them in. There was, like, maybe 3 people that were actually there racist crap. One idiot with a Nazi flag dressed in Nazi paraphernalia, and I think maybe a couple others dressed in Nazi paraphernalia. I'm not entirely sure on that memory, how many, whether it was just 1 or 2 or 3. But no more than that were there actually doing the frickin' retarded ass racist bullshit. None of them. Except for 1 to 3 people. Yet they're called racist because they're a bunch of white people saying, hey, white lives matter. Because now it's okay, apparently, to attack somebody because they're white. Okay? It's literally the exact same as when it was okay to beat the shit out of somebody because they were black. It's the exact same fucking thing, just different sides of the coin, just different color person. If you think that's okay, you're part of the fucking problem. Okay? Because, hey, perfect example of that. During the Trump campaign, which, I just triggered more people, 4 blacks snatched up a mentally handicapped white person and tortured them on video, live video, for 4 hours. And then somehow their community was sitting there saying that while they're sitting there screaming, fuck white people, fuck Trump, blah, 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 while torturing this poor boy. That, 1, it wasn't racially motivated, you're fucking retarded. It was racially motivated, and that it shouldn't be treated as a hate crime. Because, blacks can't be racist, only whites can. You're fucking retarded. Again. Avenue Q sums it up perfectly in their little song, Everyone's a Little Bit Racist, when the lovely young woman who is portraying frickin' Gary Coleman sits there, pops up, and sits there and says, everyone's a little bit racist. Then the people who were singing earlier say, alright, and Gary Coleman sits there and goes, alright, bigotry has never been exclusively white. And it's completely true. Racism, by definition, is treating someone differently due to the color of their skin, having any type of bias towards a person due to the color of their skin. That's racism. So all of you morons sitting there screaming, well, black people can't be racist. If they're treating someone bad, if they're prejudiced against someone because of the color of their skin, guess what? They're the literal definition of a racist. Now, on to Antifa. Quite frankly, my full belief, full disclosure, I think every single motherfucker who's a member of Antifa should be put to death the way my ancestor used to do it. Raise them all to the fucking stake. Middle of town. Because, I'm sorry, Antifa, oh, we're anti-fascist, and if you don't agree with us, then we're going to attack you. That's fascism. That's literally fascism, using the threat or actual use of violence against somebody of an altering political or religious belief to force them to comply with your political or religious belief. That is freaking fascism. So, you guys are fucking pathetic. And I love these videos that I keep seeing pop up, especially this one where about 15 or so antifa thugs meet like 3 or 4 patriotic people who are just walking down the street. Those 3 or 4 people beat the fuck out of those Antifa wimps, those little Antifa wimps. And then they go running off, sitting there trying to nurse their little wounds and their wounded pride. And the other guys, the patriots, are sitting there like, well, come on. Thought y'all were about it. I mean, there's 15 of you and there's like 3 of us. Come on. They wouldn't fight them. Would not do it. I find that hilarious. You've obviously got the numbers, but all of you together can't take on 3 or 4 fucking patriots. Do you know why? Because you're a bunch of fucking bitches. Or that fucking armed one. The armed one who sits there and swings his baton at an unarmed patriot gets knocked clean the fuck out with one fucking punch. Honestly, I think that there should be a little open season sort of thing, where if you see somebody wearing an Antifa shirt or an ISIS shirt or any of that shit, they need to be jumped, beat down, and left for dead. That's what I believe. I mean, that's what you all are fucking doing to innocent, hard-working Americans who are actual patriots who want our country to be great. Whether you agree with Donald Trump or not, pay attention to the fucking statistics. Whether you like him on a personal level or not, pay attention to the stats. America has skyrocketed in benefits since his administration. For those of you who are black screaming against him because he's racist, just remember that for the last 30-something years, he was never called racist until he decided to run as a Republican against Hillary Clinton. Was never seen as a racist, and 90%, like, all of these famous black people that have been calling him racist were sitting there shaking his hand and going to little functions that he was throwing or inviting him to functions they were throwing right before he decided to run against Hillary. So, first off, there's that. Second off, he's done more for the black community in not even 2 years than all of our past presidents for the past, 60? Like, legitimately, I think the only president that has actually done more for the black community was Abraham Lincoln. And that was literally, he got rid of slavery. So, other than, which, by the way, Lincoln was a Republican. So I just love how you guys keep trying to pull this shit. The Democrats didn't want blacks to be allowed to vote. The Republicans did. The Democrats wanted to keep blacks as slaves. The Republicans didn't. The Democrats wanted to keep, and still want to keep, blacks as second-class citizens. The Republicans don't. Because if you notice, you live in a predominantly red area, somewhere controlled by the Republican Party, it's a lot less shitty There's a lot more jobs, a lot more black people having jobs. And with President Trump in office, black unemployment has fucking plummeted. There are less black people unemployed now than in over 20 years. So, just trying to say, whether you like him as a person or not, you can't argue the stats. He's brought the frickin' remains of our people who were killed in North Korea home. He's brought our prisoners who are being kept in North Korea home. He is denuclearizing one of the largest threats to this country as we speak. He has, through him, his freaking, the stock market has skyrocketed. Our debt, our national debt is dropping. Unemployment around the board is dropping. Oh, but he's ripping people away. He's ripping children away from families. Okay. He's also making those containment camps where those children are being kept because their parents came in, their families came in this country illegally, and then when they got caught, decided to claim asylum, which is what's keeping them. And the whole reason that's going on is they didn't go through the legal procedures. We're seeking asylum from a drug cartel-run country. Please, let us in. We vet you. We make sure that you're actually not affiliated with said drug cartel. We make sure you're not affiliated with a terrorist group. And bada boom, bada bing. You are here legally with asylum. You're not an American citizen, but you're given a lot of the basic human rights of Americans. You're not allowed to vote, but you're allowed to live here without being afraid of deportation or being arrested. Now, you're screaming about, oh, these kids are being ripped away from their families. Open borders, open borders, open borders. You're morons. You really are. But I'm not here to do a lecture on immigration. I'm not here to do a thing on open borders. That'll be a different video on another day, because that one will probably end up being like an hour something long because of how deeply I feel about this shit. So y'all have a wonderful day. Be blessed. God loves you. I love you. And just take it easy. Peace, love, tranquility, and all that hippie shit. Bye-bye.